Very disturbing story about a gay black Mississippi mayoral candidate who's been found murdered. And this is an individual who it's already been ruled a homicide. He was 34 years old. He was called Marco McMillian, running for mayor. He was going to be, he was a viable candidate, potentially the first openly gay mayor in Mississippi. And he was found on the Mississippi River levee just yesterday morning. And this is something that the sheriff's office is calling a homicide. There appears to be no question about that fact at all. The sheriff's office said in a news release that a person of interest was in custody but had not been formally charged. And the department also said that authorities had been looking for McMillian since a man crashed McMillian's vehicle into another vehicle 2 days ago. McMillian was not in the car, and deputies responded to a two-car crash on Highway 49 South. And that's how all of this started on Tuesday. And then his body was found yesterday morning. McMillian was a Democrat. He was openly gay. He was black. And he was a viable openly gay candidate in Mississippi. This has not been officially linked to any particular characteristic about Mr. McMillian. Obviously, the speculation is there. We can connect a lot of dots here. We don't yet know for sure whether there was racial motivation or anti-gay motivation or if it was simply people didn't like his position on education. That seems less likely, but we know he was black, gay, a Democrat, and a viable black, gay Democrat in Mississippi.
And we know that Mississippi has a really nasty history when it comes to cases like this.
We do know that, but we don't want to put information into this story that has not yet been uncovered. By the way, we don't need the Voting Rights Act anymore in the South, according to the right wing of the Supreme Court and so many other advocates. But look at what's happening there, Natan. And I don't think it's unfair to connect the two.
Well, it's important to point out something that His Royalty Majesty Justice Scalia didn't mention yesterday, which is that Mississippi was one of the states that actually asked for this Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act to be upheld.
Yeah.
So they themselves recognize the continuing importance. Now, what would be interesting to know if it was a hate-motivated murder, whether it was committed by an African-American in Clarksdale or some sort of a KKK amalgamation of characters. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what really happened there.
It would, because there is, as we know, we have groups like the KKK who are very anti-black, but we also have, within the African-American community, we also have a lot of anti-gay sentiment still, and we saw that evidenced in the Prop 8 vote in California. I think that there will, I'm very curious to see what the details of this tragic murder end up being and how that fits into politics and legislation going forward. End of Black History Month, a day after a statue of Rosa Parks is unveiled in the Capitol. The Supreme Court potentially will overturn part of the Voting Rights Act because, like Natan said, Antonin Scalia thinks it's some kind of racial entitlement. And we have this individual, Mr. McMillian, brave and, as far as we know, an honest man, killed in Mississippi. Very, very sad story.
Yep. We'll have to keep our eye on it, see what we get. But I think we both know.
I don't want to prejudge. We just don't know yet. I understand why you're going in that direction, but we don't yet know. But there's a lot of disturbing signs.
That's true.
Let's take a break. Coming up next, we'll talk to Dennis Campbell, and then still more stories to get to. Stay with us. DavidPakman.com/gear. Check that out today.
The David Pakman Show at DavidPakman.com.